Welcome to our impact report. I really hope that you enjoy seeing so much of the work that has been done across Bedfordshire by the team. We're a relatively small team, but we are so passionate about working collaboratively so that we can identify where the key gaps are and where we can work together to make the biggest difference and support those who face many challenges to be physically active.
OSF is the Opening School Facilities Programme, which is a Department for Education programme looking at the schools being the heart of the community and opening up their facilities beyond the school day so that the children within the school, but also the local community surrounding that school, can have a place to be active. It is a 3-year programme, and over those 3 years we had £290,000 that we spent across Bedfordshire, and that was working with 20 schools. And of those 20 schools, 12 schools received funding over the 3 years. The work was massively around collaboration, and that was the key to make it work. So we had to work with local national governing bodies, we worked with community organisations and local councils and also sort of key stakeholders within the area. So examples of some of the projects that were really successful are we had parkour, which was being run in a few schools, but that was with a local organisation. We linked up with the LTA and tennis to take part within a school who had some tennis courts, so we helped refurbish those and get that happening. Swimming, we've looked at refurbishing 2 school swimming pools, but also doing projects with some children in Luton, some girls who weren't able to swim, and been able to actually give them access to water and pool times that they could learn to swim. We had numerous SEND projects across a number of schools. We had table tennis, which also allowed us to actually host our school games county finals in the school, where we were able to give them and provide them with all the equipment for table tennis. So sort of tying up different projects together there. 2 other sort of key clubs to mention, which were very successful. One was a mum and daughters netball club, which took place on a Saturday morning on a school site. And the other one were, we had a couple of schools that looked at holiday clubs, which again were really successful and allowed those children in their communities to actually have somewhere to go during the school holidays, as half terms, as well as summer, Easter holidays, that allowed them to be active, be part of the community, and to be able to do something other than just sitting at home.
So why do the kids love parkour so much?
I think it's like a combination of like letting yourself move naturally in an environment, and it's like more of a natural thing. I think like certainly when I was their age, I was like, whenever I was at the beach or anything, like running and jumping about and stuff. And so I feel like letting them do that in like a safe environment when they feel comfortable and where you could push them to like get to that next level, get to that next jump, I think that's really, really good for them. They really that helps them immensely.
So what development do you see in the children?
So I think the main thing for me anyway is like seeing a confidence like boost during our first sessions, especially when they're a bit scared. They don't really understand, like, they don't know their own potential. Often they can do something and they don't realize it until we sort of break it down, we get them used to it.
So Girls and Coaching is part of our School Games programme, and it's an area of work where we look at developing leaders and volunteers for the future, and as part of our people plan across Be Active. The programme allows us to give the opportunity for the girls to come and actually develop their skills across a number of different areas. So we look at planning and activity, safeguarding, philosophy and ethics, first aid, micro teaching for local primary school, and we also look at the Play Their Way concept. And they get this opportunity to do this 3 times. They can do 3 workshops throughout the year, and then at the end of that is then putting it into practice back in their own settings. The girls this year have been asked to look at targeting inactive Year 7s by setting up a club using what they've learned throughout the rest of the year back in school with those Year 7s. So using that youth voice, finding out what it is that they want in order to be active and then to run the club themselves. This year we've seen the largest increase in the number of girls taking part. So we have had 190 girls take part in the programme from 19 secondary schools. And this is a 67% increase in the number of girls that we had the previous year.
Today we're obviously here with the Girls into Coaching programme, which we've been operating for 3 years now. which is obviously a great program for developing the girls, giving those opportunities to actually get the initial steps into actually coaching in the wider world, help them develop their volunteering skills, working with them, developing communication, actually engaging with them. You can actually see throughout the whole of the 3 different sessions how the girls have actually developed and actually started working together. Has been really great, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And today they had the opportunity to lead some sessions with some primary school children. We've been gauging how they've been getting on throughout the session. They start very nervous to begin with, but by the end of the hour, they'd worked with about 7 different groups of children, developed lots of confidence, and actually a show of hands at the end did reveal that there's a significant proportion of those young leaders that would like to go into coaching, leadership, or even teaching, some of them.
It's been really great that we've actually had children from literally across the whole of the county of Bedfordshire and Luton actually working together, people that they would not normally work with. It would be really fantastic over the sessions. I think we've had like 90 young people today, girls doing it, and then the other sessions, the other cohort is around about 180 in that, so great numbers this year.
So working with BPHA, we were able to access some funding for them to be able to work with communities to provide a safe space and opportunities and learn to swim. Bedford sits on a river, so there's been some problems surrounding the need to learn how to swim in those communities, and we needed to help support them in the project as well. As the project developed, BPHA were able to take more of an admin side of things, and working with Trinity Pool, we were able to then they were able to help facilitate the bookings and so on and so forth. So it was real nurturing project to start off with. We had to really help support them and to get it started up. BPHA were instrumental in accessing the audience. Really, they know their communities. They've got some community officers that are working on the ground locally, working with schools and working with other clubs and organisations. So they were able to find out what the need was. We did a lot of a consultation to find out what they wanted, where they wanted it. Once we'd secured the venue, we then had to look at what needed to put in place in terms of female-only staff. So there were a few issues really to get in terms of getting off the ground. Once we were up and running, it was really quite clear the importance of the project and what impact it had on the girls involved. The first session that we ran happened in July 2024. We had 22 girls that came along to the programme. We managed to secure 2 female members of staff and a female lifeguard and teachers as well, lifeguard, to be able to support the programme, and it had a fantastic impact. The impact it had afterwards was that children became more confident and they were so excited jumping in and being able to swim their backs and their fronts, and they learned more and they realised that swimming wasn't scary, so it was really, really good. So like I said, the first session was in July, and then we ran another session the following February, and then following on from that, staffing then became a little bit of an issue, so we've ended the family swims then in April and May. But actually what that lent itself to was then the adults and the parents who hadn't been able to learn to swim themselves were able to then take their families as well.
Here, I'm watching them, I'm so relaxed, I'm enjoying myself because I can see how well they're progressing.
Yeah.
And then I have to add this, the swimming instructors are amazing.
Yeah.
They are so good and so motivated. Even though you can't really hear them clearly, you can see when, well done, good. And
Yeah.
when we get home, we're on a walk home anyway, the children that I've brought today, my children and my niece, they're just beaming. That their confidence has just gone through the...
I really hope that you've enjoyed this impact report. I hope that it comes across how passionate and committed we are as a staff team to really do what we can with partners across Bedfordshire to collaborate, work together, identify where the greatest need is so that we can really support those people in Bedfordshire to move more.